Welcome to the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio. We've got a fast-paced hour of fishing, hunting, and conservation covering the nation and the Northwest, including 13 extra minutes of local content you'll only hear on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Good morning. It is opening day. Whether you're heading out to a duck blind, a deer stand, or maybe you're glassing a ridge for a buck, this is the morning many of us have been waiting for all year long. Last week, we told you about the evidence we are seeing of strong duck production in the Columbia Basin and Grant County. This week, Aaron Peterson, owner of Peterson's Northwest Guide Service, will join us to give you a forecast of how he expects the duck and goose hunting to be in the North Sound this year. You'll hear that at the bottom of the hour, but you'll want to stick around for the end of our program too, because Bruce Warren, the owner of Fishing for Fun Guide Service, will be back to tell you about a great Western Washington river to fish right now for salmon, and it's called the Humptulips. Bruce will share advice about fishing that Southwest Washington river at the end of our broadcast, but before we talk to Bruce, before we talk to Aaron, let's kick off the beginning of this program by telling you, as we do every week, what's hot and what's not. Brought to you by your Puget Sound area Sportsman's Warehouse stores in Federal Way, in Puyallup, in Silverdale, and in Everett, where a hunting sale is going on right now. You can get up to $200 off on select firearms, 20% off on select ammo, $150 off on select camping gear, and more. Check it out before this sale ends, and it ends at the end of this weekend. We'll start off with hunting prospects for big game from WDFW. If you're after mule deer, you're probably heading to Okanogan County, which boasts the largest herd of these animals in the state. Overall, things are looking about the same as last year, which is a little below average, but the good news is that there are about 19 bucks for every 100 does, and over half of those should be 3-pointers or better. Kittitas and Yakima counties are not looking too good for deer this week, if last year was any indication, so you might want to drive further east and further north to District 1, where hunting for both white-tailed deer and mule deer ought to be good, as it generally is every year in the northeast corner of our state. Checking in with Northwest Fishing Reports, Rob Holman fished Nehalem Bay down Tillamook Way last weekend and reported several hard takedowns and some wild coho catch and releases, but no keeper kings. He was trolling spinners and pro troll flashers, working the water column, and had a fun day fishing the incoming tide, and yes, he did see some kings caught, just not on his boat. Another poster was fishing the Green River last Saturday here in Western Washington, said he had a pretty good day on the river near the soccer fields and caught, photographed, and released a good-looking coho in the process. He said there were lots of fish jumping, and he was surprised to see a sea lion as well. And I would have been too, because those soccer fields near Tukwila are quite a ways from the saltwater of the Sound. Sticking with angling, this is the time of year WDFW starts planting some good-sized trout into our lakes. So far this month, Kitsap Lake near Bremerton, Trails End Lake south of Belfair, Spencer Lake northwest of Shelton, and Leland Lake off Highway 101 north of Quilcene all were stocked with trout weighing around a pound apiece, making this a really good time to break out that trout rod of yours again for some autumn lake fishing. And with that, now you know what's hot right here in the Pacific Northwest.
That's your first local shot of the outdoors. Now let's see what's going on across the nation.
NorthwestFishingReports.com is the Northwest's largest fishing reports website, featuring well over 50,000 fishing reports, videos, articles, and more. All 100% free. Catch more fish with Northwest Fishing Reports. Log on today.
Are you an outfitter, sporting goods retailer, boat dealer, or someone else in the outdoors industry? If you are, you know targeted advertising works best, and what would work better than advertising with America Outdoors Radio? Our hour-long show is heard throughout Seattle, Everett, and the East Side every Saturday morning, and your message will be heard there too. Want to find out more? Contact me, John Cruz, through my website at AmericaOutdoorsRadio.com.
Ready for more local fishing and hunting? You got it. It's the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
We're back with Aaron Peterson on America Outdoors Radio. He's the owner of Peterson's Northwest Guide Service, and this fall and winter, he is offering guided duck and goose hunts in Northwest Washington, specifically Skagit and Snohomish counties. Aaron, great to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me, John.
So, Aaron, with the season kicking off, a lot of people are wondering, how's it going to be? Let's start off with the snow geese, because there's a lot of snow geese that come down from Alaska, especially into Skagit County. What are we looking at?
We're looking at a 17% gain in population this season in the snow geese.
That is fantastic. And so 17% gain, I understand that's from the breeding grounds. How are we looking in terms of a year-over-year comparison?
Between 2017 to 2016, we're 59% greater.
That is a wonderful upward trend. So I've got to ask, is the limit still 4 snow geese, or have they raised it because of the increase in population?
This season, actually, we'll have a spring snow goose hunt for the first time in Washington, and the limit for throughout the whole season will be 6 snow geese.
That is what I call a whole lot of opportunity. Let's change over to ducks, because when I think of hunting, especially in Skagit County, well, and for that matter, anywhere in Northwest Washington, I'm always thinking about mallards. How are we doing there?
Well, actually, John, the numbers are down about 5 to 10% on the ducks this season, but they're still well above the 10-year average.
Again, mallards is the predominant duck species you're going to be getting, but there is a mixed bag. You're probably getting some other ducks. What are some of the other species your hunters are going to be bagging?
Yeah, absolutely. Hunting the Bay Edge, we're getting a lot of pintail and some awesome widgeon hunts. The mallard hunting is phenomenal in some of our cornfields, too.
And we're looking at 7 bird limits again, very liberal?
Correct.
Last question. You know, you're a popular guy, and I know that most of your fishing trips are full. Do you have hunting trips left for this fall?
I do, John. I have not a lot of weekend days left, but I do have some availability.
Aaron's got multiple leased lands that you can hunt from, and better still, you're not going to have all that competition that you would otherwise if you're going on public lands. The website again, petersonsnorthwest.com. That's petersonsnorthwest.com. Go hunting with Aaron Peterson and have a great duck and goose hunt this fall. Thanks, Aaron.
Thanks, John.
Backcountry Hunters and Anglers seeks to ensure North America's outdoor heritage of hunting and fishing through education and work on behalf of public lands and waters. Lend your voice to the fight today by visiting backcountryhunters.org or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Don't leave yet. We've got one more local shot of fishing and hunting to wrap up the Pacific Northwest edition of America Outdoors Radio.
We're checking in with Max Lure Pro staffer Bruce Warren again. He is the owner of Fishing for Fun Guide Service. And if you're looking for places to go salmon fishing with the Columbia River closed, we've got one for you. It's called the Humptulips. Bruce, welcome back to the show. Tell our listeners about this fall fishery.
Well, hey, John, the Humptulips is an absolutely wonderful little river. It's a drift boat stream, so don't bring your jet boat. It's also got a few technical spots in it where you need to watch and you need to know what's going on. But other than that, it's a great deal.
Technical spots. Are we talking sweepers? Are we talking rapids? What are we talking about?
Usually not too many rapids. There's a couple of big eddy corners that you got to worry about. There's also the boat chute, which is all famous for taking a few boats down every year. So again, you need to go with somebody that knows their way around and or a guide, and they'll get you down that river safely. Once you learn it, you can do it on your own.
So we're talking kings and cohos this fall. How are you going about catching them?
Well, it's a big bait show. Bobber and egg, or salmon cocktail, which is eggs and or sand shrimp, and those work really well, but also big plugs, the great big banana plugs, and we'll dazzle them up a little bit. Sometimes we'll throw a smile blade on there in front of them just to give it a little extra flash.
What about the colors for the plugs you're pulling? Anything in particular?
Well, the typical salmon colors, you know, what they call a double trouble, which is a chrome and chartreuse head and tail. Anything in that chrome, green, blue.
And when it comes to the plugs, are you sending them or wrapping anything on them?
We always wrap a plug out there. You never want to put a piece of plastic out there that's not scented. Put that herring wrap on it, put that sardine wrap on it, put your tuna wrap on it. You'll catch more fish.
And if you're looking for somebody to take you fishing, look no further than Bruce Warren. The website to go to, fishingforfunguideservice.com. That's fishingforfunguideservice.com. Bruce will get you in the fish and show you a good time. Thanks, Bruce.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it.
That's all for this week, but don't worry. We'll do it all again next Saturday morning from 7 to 8, right here on Seattle's Sports Radio 950 KJR.
Are you looking to reel in the marketing opportunity of a lifetime? America Outdoors Radio has sponsorships available, and we offer affordable platforms to reach thousands of listeners. Find out more by contacting John Cruz through his website at americaoutdoorsradio.com.
This year, go duck and goose hunting without the hassle and do so with Peterson's Northwest Guide Service. Aaron Peterson is offering guided hunts for puddle ducks as well as snow geese on leased lands in Skagit and Snohomish counties. That's right, you don't have to rush to the public land hotspot at 2 a.m. or drive over the pass. You can enjoy quality hunting without the crowds with top-notch guides within an hour of Seattle. Book your trip now at petersonsnorthwest.com. That's petersonsnorthwest.com for a great day of hunting.